Find the stream. It shouldn't be too far away. Hopefully. There it is. Currently loading onto the channel as I speak. It shouldn't take too long though. It shouldn't take too long to load up onto the channel. Loading onto the channel as I speak. Yep. It's working as it should. Good. Audio's working, stream's up, chat's up, we're all good to go. And it shouldn't take too long for us to move into qualifying. Attendance has been superb, as it usually is here on the America series. It's just a really refreshing thing to see. In the past couple of streams I've done on Race Spec, attendance has been shocking, but here for the Americas Championship, it's really quite good. Yeah, I'm all good to go, Smarty. Just waiting on the go ahead, and once everybody readies up and the screen cuts to black, we'll start the intro and we'll properly start this stream. But yeah, no, I got to give these guys a lot of credit. Their attendance has been superb throughout this season. Easily the best of any tier I've commentated. So starting very shortly. Like I said, when the screen cuts to black, we'll start the intro like we usually do. Hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of the America's Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be racing at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. Constructed in 1978 on the St. Lawrence River within the city of Montreal, this 2.71 mile 14-turn circuit is in the real world regarded as one of the best racetracks on the Formula 1 schedule, with 3 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1, Turn 8, and the famous Wall of Champion chicane at Turns 13 and 14. There are plenty of overtaking opportunities around the racetrack. Additionally, with the circuit's location and history, there's a pretty high chance of mixed weather conditions that the drivers must stay on their toes for any changes. With the circuit being relatively short, qualifying is bound to be quite competitive. So there's a lot of positives surrounding this racetrack. Unfortunately for the drivers tonight, those positives tend to be snuffed out by the biggest negative about this circuit here in the virtual world: track limit warnings. When top drivers are pushing right to the limit, they'll try and utilize every millimeter of racetrack, but go a millimeter too far and the game will punish you. All 4 of the circuit chicanes will be major hotspots for track limit warnings, and I can guarantee you they're going to play havoc during both qualifying and in the race. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race over in Bahrain. There was a single incident report involving Rocket Alamar and the harm assist. There was a collision that happened at Turn 8 that resulted in the harm assist spinning out and losing position. The stewards have deemed Rocket Alamar at fault, and he was given a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point. This will mean that Rocket would move from P5 to P6 in the final results for the Bahrain Grand Prix. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Mighty Wombat who was leading the way, leading for Mercedes-Benz on 129 points, followed by Saucy in the Aston Martin on 115. RF1 Tom is next on 96, followed by KD 1997 on 95. VSR Jack rounds out the top 5 on 93 points. It's nice to see Jack back after a while, as Sergeant Bill has crashed out. He's made a mistake. Where's that? That's the exit of Turn 7. Can see here. We're going to ride on board with Rebel, see what's happened here. He's coming around Turn 7. He's lost control and he's put it into the inside barrier, exiting Turn 7. So Sergeant Bill will be starting towards the back of the pack for this Canadian Grand Prix. Completing the drivers' table, we have Blockman on 89, followed by Rebellion on 80. Mr. Nars and Young Lena equal 9th on 53. Rounding out the top 10 is Subfaline on 48 points. In the Constructors, Mercedes are leading on 224 points, followed by Alpine on 169. It's quite a mighty Wombat's been disqualified from the session. He was blocking the pit lane exit. What he was trying to do, and I'm guessing this is right, he was slowing down in the pit lane exit to try and make sure he didn't impede anyone starting a flying lap, and he slowed down to such an extent that the game believed that he was blocking the pit lane exit. He'll be starting right at the back of the field in 19th position. What a tremendous blow for our championship leader. Just to complete the news, we have Williams in third on 152 points, followed by McLaren on 144. Rounding out the top 5 is Aston Martin on 125. P6 is Red Bull Racing on 100, followed by Ferrari on 55, Haas on 52, AlphaTauri on 20, and at the back of the field is Alfa Romeo on 16 points. And that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on what has already been an eventful qualifying session. Yeah, I know, Mighty Wombat, you don't have to stop, you just have to slow down by enough, and the game believes that you're blocking the pit lane. It doesn't take much, it really does not take much. Your teammate KD suffered a similar thing a little while ago at this exact circuit, where he slowed down too much in the pit lane exit, and he was deemed to be blocking the pit lane, and he was disqualified. Subfaline begins a flying lap. We're going to ride on board to give you a tour of this racetrack into turn 1 and around turn 2. Down to third gear, using third gear on the exit. Seeing the top split drivers use fourth gear on the exit to try and get better drive out of the corner. Into the first chicane, turns 3 and 4, up towards the fast right-hander of turn 5. 7th gear, completing the first sector, and into the second chicane of turn 6 and 7. On to the back straightaway now. We'll open DRS and head down towards the third chicane on the racetrack. Turns 8 and 9. Hard on the brakes, down to 4th gear, short shifting to 5th, making sure he keeps his car within the white lines as he heads towards the hairpin of turn 10. Hard on the brakes here, down to 3rd gear, down to 2nd, missing the apex as he short shifts up to 3rd. It's a tidy exit though, no wheel spin or oversteer. Out of the left-hand kink of turn 11, around the right-hand kink of turn 12, and onto the casino straight, heading towards turns 13 and 14 that form the infamous wall of champion chicane. Skims his way through without making a mistake. We'll head up towards the line to set a 1 minute 12.355. Goes slowest out of the time set. VSR Jack making his way through the middle sector as I speak. His teammate Youngling gets out of the way. Jack making his way towards the chicane of turns 8 and 9. Down to 4th gear. Will he short shift? No, he won't. Oh, he does a little bit at the exit of turn 9 as he heads towards the right-hand hairpin of turn 10. Hard on the brakes here. Down to 4th, down to 3rd gear. Clipping the apex, he short shifts up to 4th. Gets a very tidy exit, heads around turn 11 and down towards turn 12 onto the casino straight. It's just a flat-out blast here towards the wall of champion chicane. Entry speed 203 miles an hour. Oh, but he invalidates through turn 13, cutting far too much there. It ruins the run. He does a 10.5 on his first lap. That would have put him P2 on the board. John getting out of the way. Professor Phil on a flying lap, making his way towards turn 5 and ending the first sector. 20.2 to the first sector. Through turn 6 into turn 7 and onto the back straightaway. You can see a tyre there on the racetrack. That's from Sergeant Phil's Alfa Romeo when he crashed into the right-hand side wall, exiting turn 7. Through turn 8, losing control. Great catch there from Phil. It would have been so easy to put the car into the barrier on the right-hand side of the track. But Phil caught the slide well, and he's still mobile. That's the most important thing. His teammate, take it easy. He's not on a flying lap. He's backing off. He must be on an in-lap. Seems that Phil's going to push on. No, he's not. He switched off the battery. Just seen that on the telemetry. John's backed out. Jack, he'll be going into the pits. Youngling on a flying lap. DRS open, heading down the long straightaway towards the wall of Champion Chicane. Entry speed we're going to see here, 201 miles an hour. A couple of miles an hour slower compared to his teammate. Down the main straightaway now, up towards the line for Youngling. It's a 1 minute 10.898. He goes fourth quickest overall. So we're a solid 8 minutes into qualifying, closing in on 8 minutes into qualifying. Only 9 drivers have set lap times so far. It really does paint the perfect picture to how difficult this racetrack is. There are so many areas around here where you can get track limit warnings. So when you're pushing right to the limit, especially in a session like this, a qualifying session, it's so easy to go that little bit too far and cop a track limit warning and invalidating the flying lap. KD, one of those drivers yet to set a lap time. He's making his way into the chicane of turns 8 and 9. Skimming it quite well. Or a bit of a wiggle though on the exit. Might have cost him a little bit of time. John right in front of him. He should be far enough ahead, but he doesn't impede the Mercedes-Benz. He's on a flying lap himself. Those drivers getting a pretty tidy exit out of the hairpin of turn 10. Now they slingshot their way down the main, the long straightaway towards the wall of Champion Chicane. John nice and tidy. KD flying his way through as he heads down the main straightaway up towards the line. It's a 1 minute 10.186. Goes quickest overall. Takes provisional pole position. Blockman, meanwhile, can he respond? He's heading down the casino straight towards the final chicane. Entry speed 206 miles an hour and indicated. Oh, using too much of the road though. He loses control and slammed into the wall. Oh, dearie me. Carried a lot of speed through the chicane. He lost grip on the exit after using too much curb. He should consider himself fortunate that he's still running. That was a serious shunt into the wall. Saucy, meanwhile, is up by a 10.5 to the middle sector. He will need to improve considerably here in the final sector to challenge KD for pole position. And he's not going to complete this lap. He bails on it. He goes back into pit lane. Rebel, meanwhile, is making his way into the wall of Champion Chicane. Down to 5th gear. Clobbering over each curb. A really tidy run there from the Alpine driver. Up towards the line. It's a 1 minute 10.626. Goes 4th quickest. Little Mick up by 0.4 of a second to the middle sector. He'll be looking to complete this flying lap with flying colours. Not a bad run through the wall of champions. Tidy. Very tidy. Making sure he keeps within track limits and he improves by just over 0.4. 1 minute 11.605. Jack getting himself ready for a flying lap attempt. There is a car directly behind him. I think that's Blockman with a damaged front wing. Going to ride on board with Jack here. We're going to see what this man can do. He may be 5th in the Drivers' Championship, but he's well and truly the quickest driver in this lobby right now. 4th gear through turn 1. Down to 3rd gear through turn 2. Short shifting up to 4th. Getting a nice tidy exit. Not using any of the outside curve there at the exit of turn 2. Around turn 3 into turn 4. Might have been a little bit distracted there from Flavius in the AlphaTauri. Around turn 5. Completing the first sector into turn 6. Down to 3rd gear, short shifting up to 4th gear. Up to 5th gear at the exit of turn 7. 6th gear, DRS open, 7th gear. Getting a little toe from his teammate in front. Into the chicane of 8 and 9. 4th gear, short shifting to 5th. Now onto this straightaway towards turn 10. Few cars in front, bit awkward there from the Aston Martin. That was Villeneuve. As he heads around the hairpin of turn 10, short shifting up to 4th on the exit, around turn 11, up towards the right-hand kink of turn 12, DRS open, 8th gear, down the casino straight towards the wall of Champion Chicane. Entry speed 203 miles an hour, down to 5th gear, clobbering over each curve. Now down the main straightaway, up towards the line for VSR Jack. It is provisional pole position, 1 minute 9.846. Villeneuve, I think, will be having another crack at a flying lap. He got out of the way of Jack. He was in... Oh, no, maybe not. I think he invalidated through the wall of champion chicane. And when you invalidate through there, it not only invalidates the current lap that you're on, it also invalidates the following lap you're about to attempt. So yeah, wall of champion chicane. It's a total nightmare in qualifying. Absolute nightmare. Just under 6 minutes left in qualifying. KD's on another flying lap attempt. KD not a massive fan of Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, and I don't blame him. Don't know of too many drivers that really enjoy this racetrack, especially in F122. He's up by 23 thousandths to the first sector. Maybe a tad bit distracted there from Villeneuve. Is doing a bit of lawn mowing, losing control, keeping the car on the tarmac though, and not putting the car into the barrier. I'm sure KD would consider himself a bit lucky there. He did hit the barrier. That might have been the end of qualifying for him. He kept the car out of the wall. He's still running. Youngling about to begin a flying lap here. Down the main straightaway, up towards the line. He'll begin the run and head down into turn 1. Down to 4th gear, down to 3rd. Does he short shift? No, he drops it down to 2nd, up to 3rd gear at the exit of turn 2. Nice and tidy, or maybe not, a big old wiggle at the exit of turn 2. Through the chicane of 3 and 4, up to 5th gear. Using plenty of the curb or the exit there. Around turn 5, up towards the first sector split. He's down, but not by much. By 26 thousandths of a second. As Villeneuve retires from the session, he'll be starting from P18. Youngling heading down the back straightaway towards turns 8 and 9. Down to 5th gear. Clobbering over the curbs. Getting a tidy run on the exit. No wheel spin. No oversteer. Just a nice stable Williams at the exit of that chicane. And he is up by 1/10 to the middle sector. In order for him to try and improve position, he'll need to find another 1/10 through this final sector to try and challenge Saucy for P6. Heading down the Casino Straight towards the wall of champion chicane. He'll slam on the brakes, bring it down. No, he'll bail on the lap. Interesting. How much time does he have left? There's Sparty out on track, who's moving slowly. So we've got 4 minutes left, just under 4 minutes. So he has enough time to put on one final set of tyres and go out right at the end of qualifying. So he can try and set the most optimal flying lap. Rocket LMR, meanwhile, on track, currently P13, now P14, as Professor Phil jumps up to P8 with a 1 minute 11.549. Quite a considerable gap, though, between him and Youngling. A little under 7/10 of a second. Through the chicane, clobbering over the curbs. Ooh, waiting a really long time to reach full throttle, though. He was at half throttle for a long time through turn 9. He improves by 2.5 tenths to the middle sector. Current PB is at 12.8, so even with that improvement, he won't be improving position unless he finds a considerable amount of time here in the final sector. Heading up towards the wall of champion chicane. Turns 13 and 14, bring it down to 5th, 4th gear. Gets through the chicane tidily. He'll open DRS and head up towards the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 12.434, stays P14. Alright, let's see what these top fellas are up to. Rebel is on his final flying lap. Rebellion back on PC, it seems, in his Alpine. He heads up towards turns 3 and 4. Down to 4th gear. Short shifting up to 5th, 6th gear. 7th gear through turn 5. He's up by 59 thousandths to the first sector. Round turn 7. Heading on to the back straightaway now. DRS open. Down towards turn 8. Saucy, meanwhile, making his way out of turn 2. Heading up towards turns 3 and 4. Down to 5th gear through 3. Keeps it through 5th gear through 4. Around turn 5. Up towards the first sector split. He's up, and up by a fair chunk, by 2/10 of a second. Rebel up by 58 thousandths to the middle sector as he heads down the Casino Straight for the final time. What could be for the final time in qualifying. Oh, no, he's bailed on the lap. He's bailed on the lap. Not totally sure why he's done that. He's come to almost a complete stop. Not quite sure what he's doing. Is he going to try and go for another run here, or I'm a bit lost. We'll see what Saucy is up to. He's heading down to Casino Straight, up towards the Wall of Champions chicane. Entry speed of 201 miles an hour. Brings it down to 5th gear, clobbers over each curb, gets a really tidy run through the final chicane. Saucy will cross the line to set a 10.259, improves by 4.5 tenths, and jumps up to P3. KD, meanwhile, he's getting himself ready. Jack is getting himself ready as well for his final flying lap attempt. Yellow flags are out. We've got slow-moving cars through the final sector. That's hiding the timer. I want to see how much time we have left in qualifying. But no, that slow-moving car been quite distracting. I think it's Sparty running out of fuel. First sector for Blockman, he's up by 93 thousandths of a second, so he's found a considerable amount of time in the first sector. You're not expected to find a lot of time in the first sector. It's only 5 corners. He's found time. He's definitely found time. 11 seconds left in qualifying, so these are the final runs that we're watching out on track. KD up by a tenth and a bit to the first sector. Jack making his way through the first sector as well. Through turn 3 into turn 4. Tidy run at the exit there. Heading around turn 5 up towards the first sector split. He's up by 85,000. Oh, KD's put it into the wall big time at turn 9. His qualifying session is over. Blockman, meanwhile, 2 corners to go. Through the Wall of Champions chicane. Tidy exit this time around. He doesn't put it into the barrier. Up towards the line for Blockman. He jumps up to P2 with a 10.090. Tom, meanwhile, he'll cross the line. Jumps up to P4 with a 10.196. But I don't think anybody's challenging Jack. Can he improve on his flying lap here? Down towards the Wall of Champions chicane. Low on fuel, low on battery. Just needs to send it through here. Make sure he doesn't invalidate. Oh, and he does it pretty spot on. Up towards the line now for VSR Jack. It's a 1 minute 9.698. He improves by a tenth and a half to cement himself at the top of the table. It'll be VSR Jack who will start from pole position for this Canadian Grand Prix. Sunfly would just be waiting on him and Flavius. Both of them not on flying laps right now. So that is the grid for the start of this Grand Prix. An entertaining qualifying session here in Montreal. Some drama early, some action throughout. One pretty decent lap time at the end for Jack. 9.698. And knowing Jack as well, he probably doesn't have a perfect setup on his car either. Just be waiting on Sunfly and Flavius to end the session and we can move on to the race itself. Hopefully it won't take us too long. And hopefully nobody gets any grid penalties for quote-unquote blocking. Oh, someone's got a damaged front wing. That's one of the Haas's. Who's that? Is that Mick or John? It's John. See his front wing there on the Haas completely destroyed. Alrighty. Results from qualifying. It'll be Jack who starts from pole position by just under 4 tenths of a second to Blockman in P2, KD in P3, Tom P4. Rounding out the top 5 is Saucy for Aston Martin. Next is Youngling P6, followed by Rebel in 7th, Sub for Lime in 8th, Professor Phil in 9th, and Little Mick rounds out the top 10. Take It Easy will start from P11, followed by the Harmesis in 12th, John in 13th, followed by Sparty and Rocket El Lamar. Flavius will start P16. Sergeant Bill, Villeneuve and Mighty Wombat weren't able to put lap times on the board. Sergeant Bill had a crash right at the beginning of qualifying. Villeneuve voluntarily retired from the session, and Mighty Wombat got an unjustified disqualification for quote-unquote blocking the pit lane exit. He'll be starting right at the back. Race time here in Montreal. Now, for the past 2 races, they've been completely dry. Are we going to see more of the same here in the Americas series? Maybe not. Look at that. There's some clouds about. If we get some mixed weather conditions, that will really, really spice things up. Oh, and somebody's readied up way too soon. Don't know who's done that, but they're going to get in trouble post-race. That's something that Sparty polices pretty well, is that he wants to give the drivers as much time as possible to try and adjust their setups, adjust the fuel in the car, and adjust their strategies for the main race, and someone's ready up straight away. So whoever that was, they're going to get in a lot of trouble post-race. So, alright, drivers are lined up. We begin the formation lap. So who's starting on what tyre for this Grand Prix? Let's have a look-see. Well, it's a bit of a mix and match, but there's definitely a lot of drivers on one particular tyre. VSR Jack will start from pole position on the hard compound tyre, with Blockman and KD starting behind him on the medium compound tyre. Tom, like Jack, is starting on the hard tyre, same with Saucy in P5 and Youngling in P6. Rebel in P7 will be starting on the medium, so both Alpines starting on the softer compound for the start of this Grand Prix. Subfly in P8 starting on the hard, same with Phil in P9. Little Mick P10 is starting on the mediums. Take It Easy in P11, the Harmicist in P12, John C in P13, Sparty in P14, and Rocket LMR in 15th place are all starting on the hard compound tyre. Flavius from P16 is starting on the mediums. Sergeant Villeneuve and Mighty Wombat, the three drivers who did not set a lap time during qualifying, will be starting from the back, all on the hard compound tyre. So with basic arithmetic, you can work out we've got 5 drivers on the mediums. That means 14 on the hard compound tyre. Interesting. You can definitely see the clouds about though here at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. We do get some wet weather interference that will definitely spice things up and make the race incredibly interesting. If not, well, the circuit is also known for its drama. Oh, gee whiz, Jack. Almost put it into the wall there. But Jack here will be starting on the racing line heading towards turn 1. The racing line soon turns into the inside line from pole position. You'll see what I mean when he lines up. So you head into his grid slot. There it is there. So this is the cleaner side of the racetrack, but heading down towards the opening corner to the left hand of turn 1, he'll have the inside line, but he's disqualified himself, which will push him back towards Blockman in P2. Now Blockman, if he gets a better start, he might be able to hang it round the outside of turn 1, which will give him the inside line heading into turn 2. All 19 cars are now lined up, ready to run here at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. We've got 35 long laps in front of us for this Grand Prix. Got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights. We're underway here in Montreal. It is a nice start from Blockman in P2, but that's an even better one from Jack from pole position. KD looking down the inside into turn 1, battling the Alpine through turn 2. Contact between the 2 cars. KD forced wide. Tom moves through into third. Behind him is Saucy, Rebellion and Youngling battling for position 2. As we head down towards turn 3, can the midfield get through unscathed? Looks like they can. In Tier 1 we had an incident through here, but here in the American Series, no troubles whatsoever. What a start from Jack. I wasn't expecting that on the hard compound tyre. He pulled away brilliantly from pole position. He's keeping Blockman at bay as Little Mick passes LMR. That's for P12. Nice start as well from Tom, and another good start from KD, but unfortunately a little bit of contact forcing him wide. More contact as Rebellion completely misses turn 10 and slammed into the side pod of KD 1997. Oh dearie me, what a huge mistake from Rebel, and he tumbles down the order. Oh dearie me. Subflime gets by Professor Phil. Take It Easy gets by John C. He moves up into 7th place. This midfield pack, they're racing each other hard on the opening lap as Phil has left the session. He drops down behind Mighty Wombat and into the wall goes the Harmicist at the final corner. Oh dearie me. Hey, was it the Harmicist? No, it was his teammate, Sergeant Bill, who went into the wall at the final corner as Rebel moves into pit lane to get his car fixed. I wonder if KD got any damage from that. Got to remember, in F122, it's not just front wing damage you have to worry about. You have to worry about the whole car, and the most important part you probably have to worry about is the floor. As soon as that thing gets damaged, your car, your million-euro piece of equipment, turns into a shopping trolley. I can't tell if he's got any damage, but if he does, well, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. The really bad thing is, none of it is his fault. Around the hairpin at turn 10, and through the kink at turn 11. These midfield guys giving each other a hard time trying to move up. Oh, Blockman! That was a terrible run through the wall of champion chicane. He was closing in on Jack. Nowhere nearby enough to attack into turn 13. But he must have outbroke himself into 13, completely overcooked 14, and as a result, Tom moves through into second place. See here with the position changes, Mighty Wombat and Villeneuve getting terrific starts. Same with John in the Haas, he's up 6 places too. Tom has kept his nose clean and he's being rewarded, he's up into second. Blockman on better tyres though will be looking to get back by to try and attack the race leader. Tom covers and then moves back to the racing line. I'm sure Blockman won't be too happy with that. Heading down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Blockman looking to the inside here, into the right-hand hairpin. As we have a spin in the background, it's Sparty as Blockman moves through into second place. Sparty spinning out at the exit of turn 7. Seen that a few times in a few different races, so it's evidently quite the tricky traction zone. Little Mech getting by, take it easy. Mighty Wombat will be looking to follow suit here. DRS open. Ooh, wow. Take it easy, really backing off, letting the Mercedes through. Sergeant Bell gets by Villeneuve through the chicane. And down the main straightaway now. DRS open on Wombat's car. DRS open on Mick's car, but you can see the pace advantage. Down the inside goes Wombat, and through he moves into 9th place. He's now made up 10 spots after the race start. Through turn 6 into turn 7. Saucy behind KD. KD seems to be okay. His car looks okay. His pace looks good. He's keeping up with Blockman and Tom, which is the most important thing. Yellow's out. John C is out of the race. Crashing out at the exit of turn 7. And we have a safety car. The first safety car of the race. You can see there his car is completely destroyed. Sergeant Bell giving us a good view here of the Haas. It's completely totaled, and that has brought out the first safety car. Alright, will anyone pit? I honestly don't think so. Wait and see, I suppose. Jack stays out, Blockman staying out, Tom stays out, same with KD, Saucy. Youngling's in. I guess why not from your position? You can try and do something. What he could do, if he has 2 sets of mediums available to him, he can go medium to the end of the race. He's putting on medium tyres right now. His pit window, if he's doing medium, will be about lap 15, lap 16, plus the 5. So about lap 20 or so. To move on to another set of mediums. That could work. It could work. Because everyone else in front of him has to make a pit stop anyway. So this might put Youngling in a really strong position here. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that Williams. I have a couple of other drivers at pit as well. Flavius, Phil, Harm Assist, Rocket Alamar has just put on hard tyres. Villeneuve has got fresh tyres on the car. This is the safety car the Rebel desperately needed. He was in no man's land after what happened at turn 10. I'm sure he feels pretty bad about what happened. Could have been a technical issue, I'm not sure, but he definitely outbroke himself at turn 10. Almost caused a massive accident, but fortunately he didn't. Alrighty. Now we just wait patiently for everyone to catch up and we can get back under green flag conditions. We just have to wait a little while. Change it away from tyres briefly. We'll have a look at position changes. Of course, with the pit stops, it has shuffled the order a little bit. The top two have remained the same. Wheel disconnect today. Interesting rebellion. Because yeah, you missed out. You missed that braking zone into turn one by a fair chunk. Yeah, I think, fortunately, I think KD, the car you hit, I don't think you gave him damage. Or if you did, he's managing it pretty damn well as Villeneuve gets a time penalty. The other drivers coming in. Push the brake pedal. Not a lot happened though. No, there's no more sickening feeling when you're arriving to a slow corner, hit the brakes and nothing happens. You're like, well, gonna have to hang on for the ride here. Yeah. Isn't that good too? The AI gave you a prison penalty, I guess. Speeding into the pits. Gotta love the AI. Get rid of position change for now. Should we bring up the tyres? We can put the tyres away for a bit. We'll bring it up later. Alright, it's down to Jack to control this restart, and my word is he controlling it. Heading into the chicane, he's taking it nice and easy. At the exit, he's still waiting. And now he takes off. Caught Blockman Nap. Tense on the restart, and here comes Tom on the attack, looking around the outside at turn one. Can't make the move stick though at turn two. Didn't have the grip to try and fight Blockman there. Youngling gets by, take it easy, moves up into ninth place. KD meanwhile heading into the chicane of turn 3 and 4. Chucking it through, heading up towards turn 5. Saucy right behind the Mercedes-Benz. There's Subfalime in P6, losing a little bit of ground to the top 5 already. Through turn 7, on to the back straight away. Could Saucy do anything for... Oh, spinning into a wall, Subfalime! Oh, dearie me. Oh, and that's not very smart either. I know ghosting's turned on. You're not meant to do that, though. You have to drive as if ghosting is turned off, because you never know with the game. You really can't trust it. Oh, and Smarty's into the wall as well. Losing control at the exit of turn 9. Tumbles down to 17th position with that mistake. We'll look back up to P15. Villeneuve, Phil battling for position. Plenty of drama on this restart lap, it seems. Got drivers moving forward, we've got drivers moving backwards, we've got drivers making mistakes, Rebel making a mistake. At the exit of turn 11, he's back down to 17th place. So race leader Jack, he's got 6/10 in hand, he's got a time penalty to boot. That's 3 seconds, I believe, next to his name now. Yes, it is. Professor Phil overtakes Sergeant Phil. Sorry, Professor Phil overtaking Sergeant Bill. Moves himself into P11. 8/10 of a second now separating the top two. Jack trying to pull away. Blockman trying to keep within a second of the race leader. Needs to make sure he gets DRS. So then not only could he keep up with Jack, but also try and keep Tom at bay. Tom's looking racy. Got decent pace right now. KD, Saucy. Yellow's out, Rebel's out of the race. He has crashed out at the exit of turn 7. And that is safety car number 2 in this race. What happened here? Got a fair way down after turn 7. See there, Subfalime backing off quite a lot, trying to make sure it's not caught speeding. Through the chicane. Car's still there. Okay, so he's lost control and put it into the wall on the right hand side. Alright, we have drivers in the pit lane. What are they going to do? Flavius and KD, a set of hard compound tyres put on the car. He'll be going to the end of the race on those. Blockman on hards as well, same with Little Mac. So these guys are going to try and go to the end of the race on these tyres. This is the very thing that Youngling was hoping wouldn't happen. He would need another well-timed safety car, Youngling. He would need a safety car at the absolute most, I think, lap 16, 17, so he can try and go to the end of the race on another set of medium compound tyres. The way things are going, it's a decent chance that we might get another safety car. Alright. Things are definitely getting shaken up here. Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve with these safety cars. The clouds are still looming over the racetrack. Some random has joined the lobby. Don't know who that is. They'll leave shortly though. Hopefully it doesn't glitch out the lobby either. Hopefully. Everyone's left, understandably so. Just be waiting on everyone to catch up. Get back on the green flag conditions again. Penalties on the board. We have Jack, Villeneuve and Little Mick. They all have 3-second time penalties next to their name. Everyone else currently is penalty free. Those are all the drivers who have made stops. So Youngling up in P4, Harnesses, Professor Phil, and everyone from Villeneuve down to Subline, they've all made stops. Everyone else yet to stop. In terms of position change, Mighty Wombat has made up the most out of anybody. Starting from last place after getting disqualified from qualifying for blocking the pit lane exit. He's recovered well in this race so far. Other big gainers, Take It Easy in the Harnesses up 5. Sergeant Bill up 8, Villeneuve up 8. Blockman and KD a fair way down, but they're of course out of sync thanks to the recent pit cycle, thanks to the safety car coming out. How are we going? Well, it's been interesting. Qualifying started with drama. Had a few big shunts. Have resulted in at least one car retiring and one car almost retiring. Had a driver get disqualified for quote-unquote blocking the pit lane exit. That driver was Mighty Wombat. The race, though, has been interesting. We've had drama. We had a big crash at turn 10 that thankfully didn't result in anyone retiring. But we've had 2 retirements so far in the form of Rebel and John that have both caused safety cars, which has changed the complexion of this race. Alright, it's down to Jack to control this restart once again. Last time, he took off just after the final corner. He does it again. A really nice restart. Look at that, he's built up 6.5 tenths already. That's fantastic. It's now lap 11 of 35 here at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. Got a long, long way to go. Tom in second, Saucy in third. Youngling in P4 on medium compound tyres. Blockman overtakes Villeneuve. Villeneuve tumbling, crashing at turn 2. We have Little Mick and Flavius together. KD is around at turn 2 as well. So drama in the midfield. A damaged front wing on Flavius's AlphaTauri. Oh, dearie me. KD, it's going from bad to worse. It seems Yellow's out. It's Tom. He spun at turn 7. Tumbles down to 10th place. Down to 11th, 12th, 13th with that mistake. He's still got a front wing on the car though. He doesn't look like he has any damage. So a few incidents on this restart lap. Involved a few drivers in the middle of the pack. KD now down in 15th position after whatever happened at turn 2. Jack now has got a comfortable lead of 2 seconds over Saucy as Blockman is on a charge. He's on fresh tyres compared to those in front. He's pushing hard, trying to make up for lost ground after the recent safety car period. Down towards turn 1. His next target will be Professor Phil in the Ferrari, then the Harnesses and Take It Easy. Coming out to turn 2, heading up towards the chicane of 3 and 4. Down to 4th gear, clipping each apex, pretty spot on there. Bit of a wiggle from Phil. Here comes Blockman, looks to the inside, or keeps the car there. Phil gives him just enough room. They almost make contact, but they get through the chicane unscathed. Down the back straightaway, using a little bit of battery. Professor Phil using even more battery, pulling away from the Alpine driver, heading into turn 8 through turn 9. Tidy exit from Blockman, but he's not close enough to do anything into the hairpin, but the harm assist is close enough, but he won't go for a move on Take It Easy. Take It Easy runs wide after the apex though, loses time to the harm assist. Down the long straightaway towards the wall of champion chicane, harm assist will be closing in thanks to the slipstream, like Blockman just behind. Down towards the wall of champions now. Get on the brakes. Chuck it through the chicane. Professor Phil getting an awkward run. And here comes Blockman. It's now a drag race. Alpine versus Ferrari. And the Alpine's got the dominant position. He's down the inside at turn 1. Phil fights back at turn 2 though with the inside line. Through the right-hander. But with better traction, Blockman gets back by and moves himself into P7. The harm assist and Take It Easy meanwhile. They're battling for position. Take It Easy didn't get a great run out of turn 4. But the harm assist is not close enough to try and battle just yet. He's got a run going though. Oh, but he chucks it into the wall. Too much throttle at the exit of 7. He spins round into the barrier. And the safety car, the third safety car of the race, has just been deployed. As Jack has left the session. The race leader has left the session. He is DC'd. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin as soon as possible. I can't help but feel, oh, will the car pit? No, surely not. It shouldn't pit unless it's got a 2-stop programmed. It's got a 2-stop programmed. Into the pits comes the AI. Okie dokie. Saucy's in as well. Youngling stays out. Wombat is in. Take It Easy stays out. Blockman obviously stays out. Bring up the tyre graphic. See who goes on what. So Jack's on mediums. So it could be worse, but he has lost a fair chunk of track position. Will be a bit of a stretch to get those tyres to the end as well, so they might have to 2-stop. Jack's AI comes out in P7. Oh dear. Saucy now down in P11, and KD, well, he should be up where Blockman is. Flavius gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Oh dear. Yeah, it shows you how much that incident has hurt KD. He should be up where Blockman is right now. Blockman is up in 3rd in a really strong position. KD back in 13th place. I'm still completely lost on what happened there at turn 2. Saw Mick and Flavius go into the barrier, and KD was doing some lawn mowing on the inside of turn 2. Got no idea how all that unfolded. Regardless of what's happened, KD has got a mountain's worth of work to do to try and get back up towards the front. It will not be easy, but I'm sure he'd be more than motivated to try and get back up towards the front. Alright, we still have some drivers who are yet to stop. We'll bring up the stops graphic. So Take It Easy, Sergeant Bell and RF1 Tom, all of them yet to pit. So they're waiting for another safety car to come out, so then they can put on fresh tyres and go to the end. All of them are on the hard compound tyres, so they're waiting for an opportune time to move on to the medium so they can get to the end of the race. Whereas some drivers, they put on fresh mediums, they got to go a fair way. Jack's still an AI, so I'm not sure what's happened to our former race leader. Just sort of trundling around the racetrack right now. So hopefully you'll be able to rejoin. And even though this car is in AR, you can't pass it. You are stuck right behind it until you cross the control line, which is the start-finish line here at Montreal. You've got to wait a long, long time. But the thing as well, after the pit stop cycle we had, still have a Williams leading this race. Just in the form of Youngling this time. Look at the position change, you can see. It's fairly well mixed up. Field is well and truly scrambled. In fact, the only driver who was still in the position where they qualified is Subfalime in P8. That's it. Everyone else has shuffled around big time. Safety car is in this lap, so a bit of a late call from the safety car, but should be enough time for Youngling to control the field and get themselves ready for the race restart on lap 16. Alright, Youngling getting temperature into his tyres, line himself up through the wall of champions. He'll take off. Yes, he has. Not the best of restarts, but he will maintain the lead heading into turn 1. So that's 16 of 35. We're back under green flag conditions, closing in on the halfway mark in this race. Lockman will be looking to get by, take it easy as soon as possible. KD gets by Villeneuve and moves himself up into P12. So the leaders make their way out of turn 4, heading around turn 5. Phil losing a bit of ground to the top 3. Lockman closing in on Take It Easy. Getting a tidy run out of 7. Using a little bit of battery here to try and close in. A bit of wiggling. Maybe trying to get some extra temperature into his tyres. Stay behind the Ferrari for now. Gets a tidy run though out of turn 8 as Mighty Wombat overtakes Little Mick for P14. Subfalime gets by the AI of Jack, and Blockman still doesn't go for the move. Tom gets by the AI of Jack as well. Saucy, Sparty battling for position. The AI providing a great distraction as we head down the Casino Straight. Saucy gets in front. Blockman gets in front of Take It Easy and moves himself into P2. And one position separates him and the race lead. Needs to hunt down Youngling. Oh, and a huge shunt! Bill's out of the race with a massive crash at the Wall of Champions. And we have another safety car. Oh my goodness me, what a ferocious hit. Bill slammed into the left-hand side wall, exiting the final corner. There's the safety car making its way out. Safety car will pull off to the side of the road, let all the traffic through, and everyone will catch up. Well, I think this is the most optimal opportunity for those drivers still on the hards that they started on to pit onto the mediums. You've got to do it now. You have to. What a crazy upside down race this is. I reckon Youngling should probably do the same, unless he can try and get the mediums he's currently on to the end of the race, which I doubt. Alright, what did the drivers do? What does Youngling do, our race leader? He's in. I thought he would go in. Blockman stays out. Take It Easy's in. Phil stays out. That's an interesting call. I would have came in. Thomas stayed out. KD gets a time penalty. He copped a warning through the Wall of Champions chicane. He now has a penalty. Tom has stayed out. I do not understand the call there. Should have come in. Unless you're hoping for another safety car to come out, it's going to put Tom in a strategically off position, because we're going to have a lot of cars that could make it to the end of the race. Of course, as well, there's one other factor I haven't talked about that may occur, is weather. I haven't heard anything in regards to the weather, but we might have some wet weather coming towards the end of the race. And that'll shake things up, and that'll put Tom back into a very strategically strong position. But that wouldn't explain why everyone else is boxed for fresh tyres. So, yeah, I'm guessing we're not going to get any wet weather in this race. Though the clouds do look damning. They do look dark. I honestly do not know. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in these next few laps, whether we're going to get any rain, whether we're going to see any more safety cars, who's made the right strategy, who's made the wrong strategy, who's going to get time penalties, because at the moment only 5 cars have time penalties. We're going to see a few more. Percentage chance went down at 60 minutes. Okay, so should have a reduced chance of rain. So why has Tom stayed out? He has not made a stop yet. He's just putting himself in a really, really awkward position unless there's another safety car. I mean, Phil could try and go to the end on those tyres, but it'd be a hell of a stretch. Blockman's in the hot seat now. He is well and truly in the hot seat to try and win this race. His next rival, I think on current numbers, would have to be Saucy in P5. Jack has not rejoined the session. Whatever has happened to Jack, he's been unable to rejoin. So that's really, really unfortunate. Alright. Safety car should be in this lap. It is. It's down to Blockman now to try and control the field and get ready for the race restart on lap 20. Oh boy. We got a big mix up in terms of strategy. We got a big old scramble when it comes to position changes. Rocket LMR up 12, Mighty Wombat up 11, Jack and KD down 4 and 5 each, respectively. Youngling down 5, but he's got fresh tyres. This is going to be an interesting second half of this Grand Prix. Heading up towards the Wall of Champions now. Lockman getting himself ready. Needs to be on top of his game here, try and pull away from the pack. Well, he's going to take his sweet time, it seems. There we go. We're back under green flag conditions here in Montreal. It's lap 20 of 35. We've got 16 laps to go. And KD's past the AI before the control line. Tom battling Rocket LMR around turn 2. He's got the inside line. Contact forcing LMR wide. And through goes Saucy. He's attacking for third place. Down the inside at 3. Oh, he loses it. Oh, and I think he hit the wall. I'm not sure from that camera angle. Tom got a time penalty though. Oh, dearie me. Through turn 6, through turn 7, there's action everywhere. Wombat's up to P7. KD up to 6. The Harnesses down to 16th with a spin at turn 6. Blockman has pulled away. Phil in P2. Tom in P3. Saucy, his car looks okay. When Tom and Saucy went through that chicane side by side, through 3 and 4, I was honestly thinking the worst for Saucy. He was in a really, really awkward position. Oh, and a spin for KD! He's thrown it away at turn 11 and tumbles down the order. Oh, dearie me. Losing control one, applying the accelerator, he tumbles down to 14th place. Through the chicane of 13 and 14, back onto the main straightaway. The AI of VSR Jack down to 10th place now. Hopefully Jack can rejoin at some point. Saucy right behind RF1 Tom here. Saucy on fresher tyres, on grippier tyres. He needs to find a way by. Looking to the inside but doesn't fully commit to the move there at turn 6. Tom runs wide, it leaves him vulnerable. Here he comes down the back straightaway. No DRS, this is just raw power. And it seems Tom's got more straight line speed. And as a result, he hangs on to third place. Better drive out of the corner though for Saucy. Putting himself into a perfect spot to try and attack. Oh, but Tom's moving left and right. Contact. Tom's forced wide. And Saucy moves through into third. Tom sort of half covering the inside line, then gently moving back onto the racing line to try and cover Saucy. The two eventually make contact and Saucy moves through into third. Through the Wall of Champions chicane. And here comes Saucy on Phil. breezes past the Ferrari. As Mighty Wombat moves by Rocket LMR, that is for P5, but he gets a time penalty himself. Cutting too much of turn 1 has resulted in a warning and a 3-second time penalty being applied. Youngling to the inside, can't fully commit to the move. He stays in P7. Around turn 5 up towards turn 6 and turn 7. Cutting over the curbs, heading onto the back straight. DRS open, not using any battery, this is just the raw power of DRS, and Youngling doesn't go for the move. I think it was on, try and go for it, but he's decided to back out of it. Wombat, Tom, Phil, battling for P3, heading into the hairpin at turn 10. Oh, the two in front run wide, and through goes Wombat, it's 3 wide. Phil gets better drive. Tom, through turn 11, overtakes Phil. Wombat gets by, he moves into P4, he switches off DRS, he doesn't want to attack into the wall of champions. Phil goes into pit lane, Wombat gets a terrible run through turn 14, he'll stay in P4. Youngling closing in on LMR, not by enough though to attack for position. Behind him is Little Mick, Take It Easy, Subfaline and Insane Sparty, who's inside the top 10. Through the chicane, cutting a lot there, Rocket LMR, that was probably a warning. Cut a fair chunk there. Around turn 6, into turn 7. Youngling, can he do anything here? What about Take It Easy? Little Mick's got DRS. I don't think Take It Easy will be able to do anything just yet. Through turn 8, into turn 9. Little Mick with a 3-second time penalty. That won't help things. Down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Youngling looks to the inside, does not go for the dive bomb though, he'll stay behind the Red Bull. Heading out to turn 11, onto the Casino Straight, DRS open, he's dumping the battery. Tom gets overtaken by Mighty Wombat. Here comes Youngling to the inside at turn 13. He moves through into 5th place, into the top 5. Saucy sets a new fastest lap of the race, a 13.1. Take It Easy sub for line. Going through turn 1. They're right behind Little Mick. Down towards turns 3 and 4. Take It Easy, not close enough to do anything just yet. He is right behind the Hasso. Meanwhile, Tom trying to stick with Mighty Wombat, who was trying to catch up to Saucy, who was trying to catch up to race leader Blockman. 2.5 seconds separating the top 2 right now. Saucy's got a bit of work to do to try and catch up. Little Mick under pressure here from Take It Easy. Oh, almost cutting a bit too much at turn 9, but I think he got away with it. Down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Take It Easy's close, but he won't be close enough to battle here into the right-hand hairpin. Oh, but Mick runs wide, opening up a window of opportunity for Take It Easy to try and get by here. Oh, but Little Mick will get DRS. He'll be closing in on Rocket LMR, whose medium tyres have definitely seen better days. Into the chicane here. Turns 13 and 14. Tidy run, nice and safe. Towards turn 1, sub for line, closing in. Not close enough though, into turn 1 to try and make a move. The Harmesis gets by the AI of Jack, who pits in again. What's ever happened to Jack? It's cost him a race win, that's for sure. This midfield pack developing some great racing to watch. Tom's still within a second of Mighty Wombat. Saucy closing in on Blockman, but it's not by huge margins. Now 2.2 seconds between the top 2. Here comes 3rd, 4th and 5th as well, making their way around the hairpin. Youngling is going to be in a seriously strong position for a podium. He's got fresher tyres compared to Wombat and Tom, and he also doesn't have any time penalties as of yet. Still got a long way to go in this race. Plenty of time to get a penalty. Youngling will know that. He'll drive accordingly. Meanwhile, Rocket LMR is now the leader of this midfield train. He got himself leading it, followed by Mick. Take it easy and sub for line. 4-car train battling for P6 on track. Through turn 1 into turn 2. Sparty's just behind this as well. Tom 6/10 behind Wombat, who was actually losing time to Saucy. Saucy still gaining on the race leader. It has shrunk now to 2 seconds, now 2.1 as Rocket Alamar gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Little Mick closing in, not by enough to attack into turn 8, through turn 9. Heading towards the hairpin of turn 10. Mick is close, not close enough though. Oh, but Elamar runs wide, loses control, balks Mick, and through goes Take It Easy into 7th. A great bit of driving there, and seriously bad luck for Mick. Take It Easy now battling Elamar. He moves through into 6th place. Here comes Mick though. Oh, but he backs out. He will stay in P8 through the chicane. Gets a nice run though. He'll surely try and attack into turn 1. He's going to have a go down the inside here, almost making contact. Elamar, oh, there is contact. Entering turn 2. Mick runs wide. Bit of a wiggle from Elamar though, prevents the Red Bull driver from trying to retake the place. So Elamar down to P8. Little Mick up to P7. Sub for line right behind here. And now Sparty's on the back of this train. KD isn't too far behind. We head on to the back straight away, down towards turn 8. Shucking it through the chicane, clobbering over the curbs. The track is getting darker, but I don't think we'll be seeing any sort of rain. 1.9 seconds is the gap between the top 2. Those medium tyres have definitely seen better days. Those hard tyres won't be doing much better though. Oh, that was close with the wall on the outside of the final corner. There's Mighty Wombat. Tom's in. Tom is into the pit lane. He'll be pitting onto a set of soft tyres, I would think. Yeah, set of softs. And look at this. This is what happens when you don't pit during a safety car period. It is costing Tom so much time, so much track position. He was gambling on another safety car. The safety car hasn't come yet though. We've still got a few laps to go. A little bit close, not close enough though to battle Take It Easy for P5. In fact, everyone in front of Take It Easy are fairly well spread out. So this is the only battle really going on right now. Clobbering over the curbs at turns 8 and 9. Heading towards the hairpin at turn 10. Guys in the middle of the pack. Close together. Not close enough though to go for any sort of move just yet. Let's head around turn 11 onto the casino straight. You can see Take It Easy moving about, trying to break the slipstream. Prevent the cars behind from gaining too much advantage. Here comes Subforlime to the inside. He bails out of the overtake. Down the main straightaway now towards turn 1. Lime is close. Not close enough. Real tight battling going on here, but these guys are not quite in a position to try and attack each other just yet. I suppose as well, we've got 7 laps to go. We've still got a little ways to go in this race. 1.6 seconds is now the gap between the top 2. It's going to be an interesting duel, especially if Saucy can get within 1 second of the race leader. If he can do that, he'll give himself an opportunity to try and fight for the race win. Blockman, meanwhile, will be doing everything in his power to try and keep Saucy at bay. He's done that pretty well so far. He's pulling away on the straights too, suggesting he's got better straight line speed. It will mean that even if Saucy will catch up, he'll have a hard time passing the Alpine because of how much speed in a straight line Blockman's got right now. Insane Sparty close. Not close enough though, as Mick gets a 3-second time penalty. Those penalties are going to play a huge part in who finishes where. Here comes Subfalime on LMR, down the inside at 1. Can't get it done. Tom sets a new fastest lap and... oh, contact! Sending LMR around! Oh, dearie me! Yellow's out. And LMR now down to 11th place. Oh, what a shame. I'm sure Subfalime will probably get in trouble for that one at turn 2. Tom is now on the attack on fresh tyres. He won't be mucking around. Switching on the battery, switching on DRS. KD will... oh, contact between the two there. As we go through turn 8 into turn 9. KD runs wide. Had to cut turn 9. Into the hairpin spot. He checks up early. Tom looks round the outside here. This is going to be a pretty tidy pass. Oh, what a successful overtake there from Tom. Demonstrating the raw grip of the soft compound tyre. Spidey's not done yet though. DRS open. He's not going to go for the overtake. He'll stay behind Tom. Heading through the wall of champion chicane. He slows down enough to allow KD to close in. Mercedes driver looking. Can he commit to a move? No, he can't. Too far behind. 1.8 seconds is the gap between the top two. Saucy is doing everything he can to try and keep up with the race leader, but Blockman, his hard tyres are surviving. They're surviving well. Can't say the same for those 17 lap old mediums. Oh, Tom all over the back of his teammate. Seems that Subfalime's going to roll out the red carpet and let him through. Tom into 7th. His next target will be Little Mech in P6. KD on the back of... oh, spinning! Contact! And into the wall goes KD! I think. Where's he gone? Yeah, he's got a damaged front wing on that Mercedes. Contact between LMR and KD there. I saw the debris fly. I thought the incident was going to be a bit bigger than that. But KD with the damaged front wing on that Mercedes-Benz. Just rub some extra salt into the wound of what has been a terrible Canadian Grand Prix for him. He's going to try and stay out, try and survive. But his car is going to be awful to drive. Here comes Rocket LMR to move through into P9. I think that might be the best position LMR could hope for, considering his position right now. How incredibly unfortunate. And it's quite astonishing that the two incidents that I've seen with KD, I know KD's been involved in 3, but the 2 I've seen with KD, neither of them are his fault. So he's just had a tremendous amount of bad luck in this race. As Tom moves through into P6 now, next target will be Take It Easy. Blockman is pulling away, by the way. Saucy's tyres, they're done. They're donezo. Tom looks to the inside. Oh, Take It Easy runs wide, so here comes Tom with the traction. Oh, almost lost the traction there, entering turn 11. Take It Easy's backed off. What's happened? Came to almost a complete stop there. What? Why did he do that? He's just given away all those positions for nothing. Must have had some sort of technical issue. Arm assistant KD. Battling away. KD's in. Speeding penalty to boot. Just to rub some extra salt into the wound, and he retires from the session. He's had enough as Villeneuve. It's a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Through the chicane of 8 and 9. Young Ling, he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Wombat. It won't be easy. Wombat doing everything he can to try and pull away from the Williams driver. He's got speed right now, but he's on older tyres. 4-lap older tyres by comparison. Youngling doing everything he can. Everything he needs to do is still within that 3-second range. 2 laps to go here for the leaders. It's lap 34 of 35 here in Montreal. Of what has been an incredibly up and down roller coaster race, full of drama, action and battles. We're going to see one final piece of drama here in this Grand Prix. Are we going to have a nice, calm, clean, sensible ending to this race? This is only really one way to find out. Mick and Lime battling through turn 2. Little Mick, he knows he's part of a losing battle. He's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. He is going to lose a few places because of that. 2.2 seconds is the gap between Blockman and Saucy. Blockman, he'll make his way down the Casino Straight. He'll have one final tour of the racetrack to complete, and he will take victory. Just needs to keep it calm. What's happened to Saucy? He's driving quite slowly. Lost a fair few tenths exiting turn 11. He must be cutting it pretty close with his tyres, so he's going to drive it nice and sensibly here. Final lap now for our race leader Blockman. Yellow's out. It's sub for Lime, as Saucy gets a time penalty at turn 1. Well, I think that will end any opportunity for Saucy to win this race. It is all done. The Aston Martin driver, the best he can hope for is second. Through the middle sector as Tom gets a time penalty as well. He increases his total to 6 seconds. Through turns 8 and 9 for the final time for our race leader. We'll head up towards the hairpin for the final time. Pulls it up accordingly. Gets around without making a mistake. Only a few corners are left. They're very tricky. He'll know it. Blockman, he's going to crawl his way through the wall of champions just to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Pulls it up nice and sweetly. Gets through the chicane without making a mistake. What a drive from Blockman. He'll win the Canadian Grand Prix. Saucy will come home in P2. Mighty Wombat will cross the line in third. He won't keep it though. Youngling will finish on the podium for Williams. His two-stop strategy working a treat. RF1 Tom will finish in 5th place, I do believe. Looking at the time penalties, he will finish in 5th. Take It Easy should jump up a place, but he does. The P6, sub for Lime, P7, then Rocket Elamar. The Harmacist will overtake him. Sparty will finish inside the top 10. He'll be pretty happy with that, I would think. Then it'll be Villeneuve and Professor Phil. Villeneuve just letting Phil through. Villeneuve will finish in 13th. And Jack's AI will finish in 14th place, in front of Flavius. But I think Jack won't be included in the final points tally, as his AI drove for the majority of that race. No surprises for driver of the day. He started last, he finished in 4th. What an effort from Mighty Wombat. And equally, what an effort for our race winner tonight. Blockman has driven superbly here at Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. He'll take the race win. P2 goes to Saucy for Aston Martin, and P3 will go to Youngling for Williams. The unofficial results of the Canadian Grand Prix. Blockman takes his 2nd win of the season here in Montreal, with Saucy coming home in 2nd and Youngling completing the podium places in 3rd. Driver of the day, Mighty Wombat, after getting disqualified from qualifying, recovered to finish a brilliant 4th, with RF1 Tom carving his way through the field late in the race to finish in 5th. Take It Easy, after starting 11th, will finish P6, followed by Sub for Lime in 7th, Little Mick in 8th, the Harmacist 9th, and Saint Sparty will complete the top 10. Next we have Rocket Elamar P11, followed by Professor Phil Villeneuve P13, Flavius P14. The AI of VSR Jack will finish in 15th place. Our retirements, KD 1997, he is classified. Sergeant Bill in P17, Rebel in P18, and John C, our first retirement of the race, classified in 19th position. So there we are, a race full of ups and downs, action and drama. Some good old-fashioned racing to boot as well. It was certainly an incredibly interesting Canadian Grand Prix. Oh, I never get tired of America's Series. These fellas always put on a show. I gotta give them a lot of credit. Their attendance is always fantastic. The racing is always entertaining to watch. I've said it in previous seasons, I'm saying it now. America's Series is definitely one of my favourites to commentate. Just a lot of fun. Ugh. Final congratulations to our top 3 as well. Well done to Blockman, securing a second win of the season. Saucy, solid effort to come home in P2. Tried to give it to Blockman, but unfortunately those tyres just sort of wore out on you. And Youngling making that 2-stop work. I thought that 2-stop might work, especially if the safety cars timed themselves well, and they did in your favour, and you made that strategy work really well. So congrats on the P3. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 8 and the second sprint round of the championship, the second sprint round at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We saw drama tonight here in Montreal. We're gonna see some drama next week in Jeddah. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. But until then, it's goodbye.